Something else.
All right. Welcome to We Are Something Else, episode 254. Elephants and flowers. It's your boy Kaleo. Hold on, wait a minute. Yes, me. I know it's Kaleo. There's CB. There's E. Rich, fellas. Episode 254. And I choose the word hot. This ad. Fellas, how y'all doing?
Good, bro. How are you doing?
I'm maintaining. We'll get to all that. How you doing?
Yeah, actually, we got to hang out, like in real life.
Man, that was good. That was good fun. My son, who invited you over, gave you the cold shoulder as soon as you got in the door. Even wouldn't even let you in the house, which is hilarious.
He got me into the house.
Yeah, the door was locked. I was like, what? I went upstairs, the door was wide open. It's not even locked.
The door was not locked. It's just, a child and a grown-ass man unable to get a screen door open.
Yeah. Kendall's starting already. Raiders. How you feeling about that pick?
We needed the quarterback, so we're going to see. Like I said, hopefully he's a building block that we need, because like I said, we got a good running back, solid quarterback, and all the other pieces will start falling together, so we'll see.
I see Ubi, I see Dave J, I see Kendall, I see Denver, Abby, good to see you. Jen Glenn, good to see you. All right, so we had last week we had teased, a couple weeks we had teased, we've been out in these streets. We went and found one of our old AMP friends that just had kind of disappeared. And all of a sudden, I kind of found them and, reached out like, hey, would you like to be on the show? And for a whole week, we didn't hear anything. We were like, fellas, we just gonna be business as usual. We got extra Thursday. It's gonna be us three, so that's fine. Snarky Matt, good to see you. But, the last minute, I tell you, there's always a plan at the last minute. Everybody, welcome in the artist Mika Brown.
Hi. Hi, you guys. That was a really funny intro. I love that.
We try to be funny around here. How's everything? How are you?
Good. I'm back on the scene. Yeah, doing well. Happy to be here.
Oh, well, look, we're happy that you are here. Now it looks like I wasn't crazy the whole time advertising somebody that we hadn't seen in a while from the AMP days. But I know I'm legit when I say I've reached out to folks.
Yeah, definitely. This is nice. I like it here. How do I see? I can see the comments at the bottom, but like, is there something like AMP or any other like chat? Like maybe on full screen and I should like.
We're on YouTube. If you want to go into.
Oops. My bad.
Go on YouTube.
Okay. Hey, I see the comments. Okay. Hey.
There you go. But yeah, if you go to YouTube, WSC Podcast, we're right there on YouTube, and you can see the chat. Cool. Yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah. Everybody's good. Happy to see you. E, how's the week going, bro?
It's going well. As long as Ubi don't start no shit tonight, we'll be all right. I'm just saying, bro, like we can't do that tonight. Listen, man, work has definitely been working on another level. I still got projects, got work to do after this, which we're gonna have a little fun right now, have some good, a good chat, and some laughs, and we're gonna just have a good time. So I'm here for it.
Okay. CB, everything good this week?
Yeah. Surprisingly, taking tomorrow off. That wasn't originally the plan when the week started, but on Wednesday, my younger brother, I can't call him my little brother because he's like 6 inches taller than I am, which is fucked up. But he was like, yo, man, we're doing this company like charity golf thing. And just so happens we need a fourth person. This is the wording. This is the phrasing. Do you want to take off work on Friday and play golf? And I'm like, dude, it's never about want to. Like, want to is not
Exactly.
question. But I will check tomorrow and see if I can make that work if the rest of the team is going to be in. And the rest of the team was going to be in. So, we were good. We were taking the day off. One of the guys is now not going to be in. But the rest of the team is they're equipped. And they also know I'm only a phone call away. So it's Friday and we're through the busy season. The last like 2 months I've been talking about how we just got to get through the tax filing deadline, and we have. And so hopefully tomorrow will be just an easy day for the folks, but they know they can reach me if they need to, but I'm hoping it'll be an easy day for them and a great day for me and my bro in the course.
I mean, they can always call the phone, whether you answer or not is other side of it.
Yeah, and like Kaleo, you have some insights into this particular institution. Like, I had to put Teams on my phone. You know what I mean? Like, I got the Outlook on the phone. Like, they got me, bro. Like, they know that I'm reachable. So that's just what it is.
Oh, absolutely, that makes sense. My week has been so you guys, we've talked kind of behind the scenes on certain levels of things, but I don't know if certain folks have seen that Kaleo's been a little distant in the chats and haven't been around. Your boy's out here working. Your boys, no. Let me not downplay a job as a job, right? And at this point, I gotta get back out there and I gotta do what I need to do to get a check. So I am currently, and look, there's no shame in it. I am currently out here doing bulk trash lugging.
Let's
now,
go.
Yeah, look, absolutely. Because look, it's a check coming in. And it kind of is a workout because it whooped my ass today. Let me tell you that much. I hadn't worked this hard since I worked at UPS, like those college days. When you're getting that hot ass truck at the end of the night, I've been sitting all day, and you have to load people's packages in. So no,
as someone who has worked like 3 or 4 jobs at one time, that's a funny thing to hear you say.
Yeah, right. He knows. Oh, you do too. At one point, Mika, I was working 3 jobs. I had my full time and I had 2 part times.
Wow.
Yeah, but now I only got 1 job, and the good thing is it gives me some kind of freedom because it allows me to still study. And kind of, Sammy, good to see you. I can still kind of call my own shots for like studying and stuff like that. So it was dope. And so today, let me tell you, I've been looking forward to telling the work story in a minute. So today we did like a hoarder's house. Yeah, I know what hoarders are. Chappie, good to see you. You know what a hoarder is, like on TV. Not a whore, a hoarder. Let me make sure I get them together. Now, I get there, and this person, he didn't pay. I don't think he passed away in the house, but the house has been sitting for like 2 years. And bro, when I tell you there is like mounds, the stuff people can accumulate over years, whether it makes sense or not, you're like, wow. It is absolutely crazy. Let me tell you now, we were just tossing stuff, trying to load and go, whatever. But then there were some treasures we found along the way. What do you say? Making it. Whatever pays the bills. But I found an original Meteor Man movie poster. Now, look, that may not sound like a big thing to everybody, but like if you're a movie fan and like Meteor Man, like Robert Townsend, like the first like African American superhero kind of sort of, and you get that poster, and I can, that was dope. That was a dope find, but then I also found some money too. So that made the day even worse. A hoarder house place. I knew that was coming. Whatever. But look, so I'm back out in the work field doing something. Y'all not gonna turn down no job. So, with all that said, you ready to get this show on the road?
Let's go.
All right. All that you got through the background, Mika, of that. So let's wrap. Where are we at? All right. I want to start off with this.
We love you, Valley.
Sorry, man. Sorry, Punk. Sorry, Punk. All right, courtesy of TMZ Sports. We got to say that because we don't want YouTube to mute that or take that off. So, courtesy of TMZ Sports, that was not my camera. That was TMZ's camera. But if you don't know, WrestleMania was in Las Vegas this past weekend. CB knows because he came over to watch it with us and get ignored by my son pretty much the entire night. But
the whole reason I was coming over to hang out.
Gave CB the cold shoulder like, I'm like,
Gave
what
me
is
the
that?
Heisman, man.
What is that? What is that? But anyway, so WrestleMania was in Vegas this weekend. And what you see there is two female wrestlers. I think that was Bailey and that was AJ Lee hugging it up. And it doesn't matter why they were hugging up, but they're allowed to hug it up. They're friends. And you see this creep with the camera, like in the middle of their like intimate private moment and talking about we love you. First of all, he said Bailey wrong because he said Bally, but he's in her face with this camera, and she's like, "Dude, like that's weird." And then you see CM Punk, who's married to AJ Lee, one of the girls that was hugging. He smacked the phone out of his hand. Now, there's a lot of things wrong with this. First of all, we all know what we've seen TMZ. I don't know. I don't think this guy's TMZ, but we've seen TMZ cameras and stuff pushed and thrown out the way by Kanye, and all kind of lawsuits have happened because that's, I guess, considered assault to some point, right? Because you are violating somebody's person. But this guy is creep. This guy is probably 40 or 50, like walking around here, like in these people's faces, like invasion of privacy is crazy. So we can focus on this particular incident, but we can also focus on celebrities in general who never seem like they have a moment off the clock when you have people violating their space or personal space. And I know how I feel during the pandemic. I'm in the grocery line and somebody got too close to me. So I want to go around. Let's talk about it. Do you think that CM Punk was in the wrong? And how do you feel about just the invasion of privacy that's going around these days? CB.
Nah, I don't think he was in the wrong. When you get to see, because initially the only video I saw was basically of him knocking the phone out of the hand. So when you actually get to see really the whole scenario, it's like, yeah, man, this dude, I'm gonna assume, I would like to assume that he didn't mean anything like malicious or whatever, but a lot of people these days really have no common sense. They don't know that it's not like the right thing to have your freaking camera in someone's face, especially when it's like people you don't know, man. Like if you look in the video, there are other people standing around with their cameras out, but they're not following the ladies like as they walk away. You know what I mean? And so he overstepped the line. I also think there's just like in general, celebrity worship is kind of it's just like a weird thing to me. So, I think that it's like one of those things where it's only really a big deal because we got like stuff on camera or whatever. But ultimately, I think that, no harm, no foul. And I don't think Punk was in the wrong at all. I think that like people need to back the F off, if anything.
Yeah. Okay. Mika, thoughts?
Well, I mean, I agree with a lot that you said, CB. I think that we are in a culture where people just want to, it's more so about the person rather than the experience, right? Because if you're really a fan and you're really interested in engaging in and having a moment, then you wouldn't be able to find your phone, right? You'd be in the moment having the conversation or, you know, trying to get their attention or whatever for whatever the reasons are. But we're in a very self-serving culture right now, right? And so a huge piece of the problem is that people want to post it for their own benefit. You know, it's not really that they're out here trying to, I don't know. I think you could ask. You can ask. We're at a place where you can ask. Like, people don't want to be on all the time, you know. Using your phone, especially if your phone is another way for you to make income when you become at a particular status and you have a certain amount of following, right? Like, it's a job. You don't want other people to put you on the clock when that's not what you're looking to do. And some people do it gracefully, but you know, social media has made a lot of things. There are a lot of blurry lines, if you will, with social media. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
My bro.
It was the comment at the end. It was the having a bad day. And I'm thinking like, bro, no, I'm not. I'm having a normal day. You're having a bad day for being that close to, clearly, like you said, that was his wife. You know what I mean? Like, it's too close for comfort. And that, without cameras, that could have been handled differently. So he's lucky that there were enough people around. You know what I mean? Because it's certain people you don't play with. And, you know, it it's a thing, bro, where it's just like, you know, the fans have gotten this thing that they are bigger than the people that they're actually fans of, which is so weird. And for that, it's one of those things where as soon as something happens, the person is like kind of blamed because they reacted. And it's just like, again, you know, these people go to work every day. They don't have a camera in their face. They don't know what that's like. They just are kind of on the opposite side, and they don't have the notion of, you know, humanity to be like, that probably wasn't cool. And also these damn phones nowadays, he could have been like a whole football field away and got that close as well without even being that close to him. And I just, again, and I think we can't, it's like, let's not, you know, discredit it, but like, he's old enough, like she said, like he could have been in the moment of just seeing that embrace and was like, I was there. I don't have to show, because guess what? Other people are already filming the shit. So I'm probably going to be in the clip anyway, as close as I am. But, you know, people just, it's them before everybody else. And that's what's going to get a lot of people hurt out here. So
it's like being at like the zoo, right? And you got to get the best picture of the lions or get as close as you can to whatever without falling over the barricade, right? That's exactly, because he was literally, bro, like right there. Had he take one step forward, he probably would have been like touching AJ Lee on her back, right? And
they like hit him. They hit the phone. They like, you know what I mean?
On the far end, pushed the phone away. And I think another thing is like privilege, obviously, right? I don't understand what's the mindset of this particular guy who felt like that was his moment. I remember this one particular moment where he felt like this was his moment too, to embrace, like to be in on a personal moment between them. And it's like you said, he's bad enough that everybody else around him has a phone. Like, to be them or be any kind of celebrity, it's got to be rough. Like, and they didn't have security clear. I mean, they just had like probably hotel security that was nearby. I didn't see any like WWE security. So in that whole weekend, it's probably been like that, right? Because there's other wrestlers reporting now that people were taking bathroom videos of Booker T at the urinal. Like, people who just think that every moment is their moment. Like, who wants that? Why? Like, you can never turn the clock off.
Yeah, I think sometimes, like, I don't know if you guys caught Keke Palmer a couple of weeks ago. I think she was at South by Southwest and she was doing like a panel, and a guy like proposed to her while she was doing the panel. And a part of it is that social media makes you feel like you really know a person, right? Makes some people feel that way because we're not those people, right?
No.
Like, but some people really feel like, they know you in a way, and they're really just fans and they're smitten by you. And, eventually they want to take ownership of you, and you give them the means to be in the same space with you, and you never know what you're going to get. And it's a scary time, I think, for people who have built their profile for one reason or another, because again, people feel entitled now, right? And okay, yeah, sure, you can access a good portion of my life via social media. Have when you see me out in these streets, it's a different situation.
And these guys are actors.
But I wonder how much of that is generational too, right? Because you have your crazies, but then you also have a whole generation that has grown up, and this has been the way. This has been the experience. And it's almost like, if you don't capture it on video, did it really happen? But what are your guys' thoughts on that? Is it generational?
It is, because just like you said, if they did capture it on their video, the other 65 videos that were out, we can't confirm that those are real now. You know what I mean? Like, or it wasn't on you. Like, I didn't see your hashtag. I didn't see your your tag on there. So you weren't there type. And it's, again, it's lame. These kids are just missing out on like being in the moments. And again, everything is recorded. Like I said, we talked about this before on the pod. We've been to concerts where we didn't have cell phones, right? It was just about being in the moment. And every memory that we have from that concert is still up here, and we could talk about it as if it was recorded and still have that moment feel. You know what I mean? Like,
even if we had those pictures and videos, bro,
trash.
The technology at the time,
trash.
You know how
pixelated with that damn snake game that's going on that damn
those sensor blocks that I put up on my calves on my social media posts, that's just what the regular picture would look like. You know what I mean?
And I feel like some of these people feel like, I follow you, your every move on Instagram, TikTok, whatever the social media is. I spend money on your merch. I belong. Well, they don't have fan clubs anymore, but I do so much to support you, and this should put me closer to you because I have monetarily given, or I've given my time to you, and so people just feel like that moment belongs to them too. But yeah, it's trash. Like, everybody has to be for like, everything now. Me and my bro talk about this all the time. Everybody's in a moment now of wanting to be first, whether you get it right or you get it wrong. I was first to talk about it. You're not far off, Art. You're not far off. So yeah, I mean, and then the guy wants Punk to apologize and to avoid like any legal ramifications.
Bro, get out of here, man.
That's just his feelings. His feelings are hurt because he didn't get the reception he thought.
By his
he thought he deserves it, right? Like, he thought that was owed to him.
Please.
And again, it's the entitlement of it all, and just like everything else that we've echoed here, right? Understanding personal boundaries, right? To support someone's career or artistry, like that's the benefit, right? You're supporting it because they do the things that you like. You like to see them in action. You like to hear them speak, whatever it is, that's the trade-off. Now, when they're in their personal time, in their personal lives, with their personal friends, living real life, at some point, I'm hoping for more people, it will kick in that it's off limits.
I know my boundaries, Dimitri. I know my boundaries. So, everybody got their one. Everybody got their one. I know my boundaries, though. All right, so let's transition. Be respectful of time. So speaking of time, like, can you believe it has been I was talking about this the other day. 10 years since we lost Prince. April 21st, 2016. And I told the story last night on Blab. Like all week long has been a good tribute. Kendall B Morning Show on Station Head, 9 a.m. on the East, 8 and 7 in the middle, 6 on the West every morning, Monday through Friday. He did a Prince tribute, and we just talked, people all throughout the week, people have been doing tributes. It's been beautiful. And last night I went on Blast and did a show, but 10 years. It's hard to believe 2 years we sat in the pandemic, and it felt like sometimes no time was passing, and sometimes it felt like all this time had passed. But to do a decade, and I told the story. I'd never forget it. We were having a shuffleboard tournament at work, and I got back to my desk, and my buddy Dave called me to the front desk, and he had somebody else tell me because he couldn't tell me. It's like, oh my God, like what? So, but 10 years, the music, obviously, I mean, will always live on. Every year, the estate has been doing something to give some type of deluxe edition and do a celebration and stuff like that. So we don't have to spend too much time on it, but thoughts, if you remember where you were when you found out, or how the past 10 years, or how Prince has impacted you, whatever you want to tell for this, it's all good. So would you, E?
It's probably gonna sound like Groundhog Day, but it was, I forgot what the year was, but musicology was what he was pushing that time, and who would else go to the concert? And my bro was there, and it's just like one of those, like, you can't miss out on something like that. That's one of those. Grateful that I got a chance to see live in action. Put that guitar to rest. But just everything about that. And again, I'll die on that hill that his first album was better than Mike's. And people are gonna have their comment in the section about me, but it is what it is. What I'm saying, true artistry, and he's always gonna be missed. And I don't think you can't go without. And I put it like this: I hope parents of today are giving their kids Prince to listen to, so that they can understand what true artistry is when it comes to music. So,
yeah, where were you at? Did we ever talk about that?
Bro, I was probably at work too, most likely, probably at
right.
work. You know what I'm saying? It's always one of those things where it's like you don't want to believe it. When those ones, when you get that information, you're like, damn, not that one. You know what I mean? Because we're thinking that we're gonna have Prince here for long. Mike had already been gone. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of hoping that Prince is just gonna be around and do his thing. And then when that happens, you're like, damn.
You never saw it happening. I mean, that week leading up, he had the flu on the plane, which later on we realized that they had to give him Narcan.
All right, I got to log off. I'm sorry.
Then we found out that they had to give him Narcan on the plane, like to revive him, because he'd actually died in the middle of a conversation on the airplane. So it just goes to show you, it was just eerie. It felt really weird after that moment, because you just start to see, man, your celebrities your musicians that you love, your actors that you love, that seemed invincible for a while. Hell, I know Michael Jackson seemed invincible to a lot of people, and they never thought that moment would happen. Whitney Houston, we never thought that moment would come. We thought that Whitney was going to get her act together, and she would get through the storm or the moment, and we would get Whitney back on tour, just singing left and right. When Left Eye passed away, when Aaliyah passed away, moments that you're like, just stun you as, but yeah, this one for sure. Yeah. People don't live forever.
They don't. But the interesting thing about Prince and Michael, and just the concept of them, thinking that we'll have them for a very long time, I don't think any of us really expected that it would be fentanyl, and that it would essentially be the industry and what it took to deliver to the level that they delivered on the regular basis that they did. You don't expect that to be the thing.
Right.
to take them out of here. I was at work too. And we had this president at that time too. I remember that. I remember that job so clearly. And like Ubi, I worked with someone who just could not get a grip on life. I mean, I love Prince, but I think didn't Whitney pass before him?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like
So
like Whitney, and then
yeah, that one was the one for me. So I was definitely sad about Prince, but I could still muscle through the day. But I did work with someone, and she had to call it a day fairly early. But those were the early days of hearing about fentanyl and things like that before we actually even realized we were in, I guess, like an epidemic, right?
Yeah.
Because even when that happened, and to some degree it's still happening, it's not really talked about as such. But those were really like the early days in hearing about those things, and very sad. But the music lives on. The music is still very strong. And when we think about just like the quality that we get from other artists today, to your point, Black Wall Street, I haven't yet, but Prince is on the list of artists to introduce my daughter to, because in a world where there is so much AI generated music now, right, that sounds good to the ear, but missing the soul and missing, the creativity, is important that the youth understand what real music was and what it can be.
And that's what that whole musicology tour was. It's about bringing families together. Tickets were like $25. And then when he did the Welcome to America tour out, he was like LA at the Coliseum for almost like 20 shows. Tickets were like $20. Like, he made it to a point where, like, bring your family out. Like, you got to see this. And to your point, Mika, when you hear what happened, like, you never fentanyl, like somebody who has lived such a clean life in front of the camera and perhaps could have been in so much pain with the hips and all that, to where like every dose just had to get stronger. And this was, so yeah, it's crazy that overdosing for a person that had lived such a clean life in front of the camera and in the music was that was the case.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, CB, go ahead. But I agree with, I don't know if you guys saw what Sammy said, like the kids just need to be introduced to the arts nowadays, how they cut all the programs, but take all the tax dollars. But that's another subject.
It's a whole other podcast. Dang. Yeah, no, I may have been a spectator at said shuffleboard tournament. Kaleo was in a different league than I was when it came to the in-office competitions.
He just lost championship.
And out of all of my friends, Kaleo is the absolute biggest Prince fan. So to be in the office, for him to experience that, to me, that was more of an experience than him actually passing, because I didn't get to see him perform live. The homies are a few years older than me, so just like he a little bit more their generation and stuff. But the music is eternal. You know what I mean? Like, and the impact is eternal. And as someone who has gotten to jump around on stage with a microphone, maybe take the shirt off every once in a while, Prince was an entertainer, bro. Like, it's important to be able to entertain, and that's part of the reason why people will come to your shows. You know what I mean? And so, if nothing else, from the performance aspect of being able to command a crowd, and a crowd of the size that he could draw, that's like some incredible stuff. And people who have never like been in a moment to see something like that wouldn't really understand that gravity, and just he was one of those guys. So it's always good to be able to take time to remember one of the GOATs. And it was good to hear that there were so many celebrations going on. You know what I mean? So celebration of life continues forever and ever, and the music's eternal.
And what's crazy is his birthday is coming up shortly. So it's like always a constant reminder. You've got the date, the death date, then you got the birth date, then a matter of like 2 months in June. So Like this around this time, if you're a fan, like it's constant like reminder.
What month of the year was it that you got to visit out there?
That was June. He had been, I think he had been gone. It was a year after his death. And that was my 10-year anniversary. And they sent me to Paisley Park to experience just a town full of music because
that happened. I caught it. I wasn't gonna say nothing. He definitely threw that shit out there. Shirt off on the stage with the mic.
There's pictures on the internet.
You right. Oh, I stand by the second verse that you wrote on that song.
All right. Shout out to DC Shot Pie, the official pizza of the We Are Something Else podcast. Save 10%. WRSC10. There's that the code. It's over there next to Mika. Scan that QR code. It'll take you to DC Shot Pie, and they deliver. And they ship, worldwide. Shout out to Grant. Shout out to Margaret. Sending healing energy to Margaret. DC Shot Pie, Black-owned business here in the DMV. Chicago deep dish style pizza here in DMV. Look at that. You've got steak and cheese. I'm gonna go get me a steak and cheese this weekend, hands down. And I'm gonna use the discount code before I get there and pull up on Grant. Then there's salmon pesto, and there's like sausage and pepperoni. They do the flats right there. Look at that. The flats are homage to staples here in the city. You got the Georgetown, which is a gyro pizza. It's a huge chair that sits in the middle of DC, and that's fried chicken and mambo sauce. Then they also got like the drop the bomb bread pudding. So shout out to Grant. Shout out to Margaret. DC Shot Pie. Scan that QR code. I should have had Shot Pie here over the weekend for WrestleMania. What was that?
No, you ran through the pizza budget.
Right. So he said he's getting a slice this week, so he's pretty much going to be in a coma for the rest of the weekend.
I might be. I'm working again.
We'll be able to tell when the group chat goes quiet. We'll know he would have finished the first slice.
Yeah,
Mika, like one slice is enough. Like this is all you don't.
It looks like it. I've never had deep dish pizza. I was kind of shocked. Like that's like a cake.
And it's Black owned. So we Black business series here. We feature Black businesses, and we started it during the pandemic because we were audio podcasts at first, and then me and CB got sent home. We're like, well, what are we gonna do? We need to do video anyway, and we need to figure out content. So we were like, let's just find Black businesses and see how they're faring in the pandemic. And we found out that all these Black businesses were just they were doing well, resilient. So never look back. And we went on like a 6-month stretch of just Black businesses. So I started this segment last week, and I had this idea of what this week I wanted to be. And Dave J kind of hinted to it this week on his Instagram reels and TikTok reels. So it's a new segment called What's Worse. And you guys seem to like it last week because last week's What's Worse was what's worse, restaurant silverware or hotel bed sheets. This week, let me move it. What's worse, being in the bathroom stall and realizing there's no toilet paper, or getting invited to your girlfriend or boyfriend's house for the first time for a cookout and stopping up their bathroom? What's worse? In the chat, 1 for stall, 2 for cookout, and let the good times roll. No pun intended.
Bro, there's no way that I'm copping a squat and taking the deuce like in a public bathroom, bro. We already had this conversation.
You're in the executive suite. I mean,
nah, we had this conversation. Bro.
What episode was that? You said this.
It's okay, Mika. Like this is for real. Like we be really having these conversations because it's just like it's honest, right? Like like you're not copping the squad everywhere, but also like at your people's spot, bro.
Yeah. And while people try to figure out what's worse, let's get into this.
Take it from me. I know a quality D cup when I see one. I mean, I'm kind of an expert. I've spent years appreciating the right shape, the right feel, the right attention to detail. And these right here, they're flawless. Smooth, durable, designed to be handled. And trust me, you're gonna love having these D cups in your hands. Hot, cold, it doesn't matter. They perform exactly how you need them to, every single time. Whether you're at home, on the go, or showing them off just a little, they always get attention. And once you've got one, you're not letting go. Take it from me. I'm not only a client, I keep D cups with me constantly. D cups by Doreen. Go ahead, hold one.
Shout out to the wonderful folks at D Customs. Shout out to Doreen. Shout out to Dimitri. Look, here's my custom D cup right here. It's got everything I love about, it's got Pharrell. Look, there's the Prince logo. There's the cherry blossoms. There's the infrared Jordan 6s right here. Look, there's me. And there's the We Are Something Else logo right there. And I've said it once. I've said it all year and towards the end of last year. CB and E-Rich will be getting their very own customized customs this year. But no,
at some point.
Custom.com and save 15%, WRSC15. And there's also the QR code right there next to Mika. So, all right, all the bills have been paid.
Before you go on, Kaleo, was that voice also an AMP legend?
Oh yeah, I'm glad you said that. Half of Cuddle Me Bad, that was Atusa. Shout out to Atusa for doing that for Dimitri. But oh look, I've got my Cuddle Me Bad cup right here. They just dropped the remix album. Now look, I am not on the version that is on the streaming platforms, but I am on the Bandcamp version. So if you want to hear my remix of the Cuddle Me Bad song, it is there. Go Cuddle Me Bad. But yeah, that's their merch right there. Let's see. Let's check in on the poll. Where are we at? We've got Cookout. Cookout is one. People apparently, it's worse to be at a cookout with your significant other or future significant other and put the bathroom out of commission.
Out of commission is crazy, bro. Like, I don't know.
Man, look, we'll hide it. Stop it. All right, now let's see if I got the right camera angle. Actually, you know what? Let's just do.
Yo, CB, you gotta chill, bro. We trying to make it through this fight, bro.
I'm not the one writing the comments, man. I'm not. Shout out to the homies.
Boom. All right, let's just do it. Our guest this evening, artist Mika Brown. Now, look, we're gonna tip. I'm glad we were able to make this evening happen. Welcome to the show. Hopefully, you're having a good time so far. We haven't ruined any.
I am.
Okay.
It's vibes over here.
Oh, it's fun. We always have a good time. So what we're gonna do? We're just gonna go around because it's been a while since folks have seen you. And I've got questions. I know the fellas have questions, and it was like if you weren't on AMP, like folks that are in the chat that weren't on AMP, like AMP was just a movement. It really was. They really had something good going, and then just it got put in the wrong hands of folks, and they just didn't know what they had, and they just did away with it. But AMP was a great social audio platform that paid out the money if you did the right things. But this is where we met the artist Mika Brown over there. So how was AMP for you?
Oh man, life-changing in a lot of ways. I had been getting the ads like everyone else. And at the same time, one of my homegirls had hit me up that I had grew up with. And she wanted to start something, but we weren't sure like what it was going to be, what we would call it. And I saw this ad and I was like, well, why don't we just test this one out? And we did. And then we didn't do it for a while. And then I started getting on late night, right? by myself, you know, and you know, you needed like a person in the room in order to play music. And so I was, you know, I was trying to figure out like how to hijack the system, because it felt like almost instantly I realized how much I love being a voice behind the mic. And I've always because I'm a recording artist, I've always liked to hear myself talk, but you know, you're talking to the engineer, really. And they have a job to do. So, you know, you don't get to do it a lot. However, AMP for me, it was a game changer, because also it was the first time that I was able to find community. I had dropped the Rum and Coke project like 2 or 3 years prior. And I had did that in the midst of a lot of other things. It was just before the pandemic. It was right in the midst of the pandemic, actually, because I had just gave birth to my daughter. And so she was about like 7 months or so. So like promoting it, couldn't figure really what that was going to be. I couldn't figure that out. And I don't know, I found a little community and it was great. You know, and I didn't know that I could also be one of those people to really feel the way that I felt about people that I didn't know. Like, it's one thing to see content, but then to have like a real connection with like other music lovers. And, you know, we can never forget E-Man, you know, what he brought to the platform. And yeah, it was a game changer for me.
Talk about deaths that hit. You didn't realize how much you were connected to somebody that you never met. And then the news broke out on that, and you just see everybody just rush to kind of embrace and become a community. You know, rough. Basically.
I guess, Mika, give us more in just your background of like the music journey, like, you know, where it started and, you know, where you're at now, all that.
The background. Well, you know, I could be one of these people that say I've been singing forever. And it's kind of that way, but not really. You know, throughout, you know, my early years in school, sure, I did like chorus and things like that. But the first time that I was ever tasked to write a song was not because I ever did it. It was because I started dating a guy who, he went to like a cooler school than mine, right? Like they had the football team. Like we had like the same 10 people that had to play all 4 quarters. Right. So, you know, my team was always losing, always exhausted. So, but he came from like this cooler school, and, you know, he was a producer. I think at the time, like Fruity Loops, the sound, it was kind of weird, but you know, Fruity Loops was the thing. I think the person to make something of it was Soulja Boy, and you know, he was like, "Oh, I got these beats or whatever," and I was like, "Oh, all right." You know, I never wrote anything, but I was like, "I'm gonna write today," and you know, it came a little easy, and you know, from then on, like I had a couple of friends that really would keep on like encouraging me to do it. I became that friend in the group that like, it was like, "Oh, you know, she sings," or "Oh, you know, she writes." And when I was probably like 19 or so, you know, college wasn't working out for me. And for a long time, I thought it was me. But now, like in hindsight, what I realized was it was really more like a finance thing, right? Like my parents didn't have it for it, right? So I wound up going to New York because I thought I was going to do hair, right? Like hair felt like a little bit more tangible. It felt a little bit more realistic. And so I came to New York. However, being in the big city, like, oh, it felt like dreams could come true. So that's when I really started taking it seriously and really started taking it there. And, you know, having vocal coaches and, you know, doing more sessions, being in more collaborative spaces with other artists, and, you know, just sharing my talents, lending to their background vocals, whether that's, you know, on their actual project or during live performances. And yeah, it just kept on, and I met my husband along that path. I didn't meet him within a music setting. We actually met outside one day, but he happened to work in the industry, and well, not directly in the industry, right? Because industry people are interesting, but he did music, and he had like a lot of great projects that he had collaborated on up until that point. And it's kind of been the fuel to keep things going, because just being a woman in the industry, a lot of people say they want to work. A lot of men say they want to work. And I'm sure you guys know those guys. You aren't those guys, but I'm sure you guys know those guys, where there's a lot of alternative motives, alternate motives. That's the word I'm looking for.
Mhm.
And so I became disenchanted quite a bit, because it's just like, why can't we just like get to work? Like, it's a million women out here, right? I'm not here for that. Why can't we just focus on what we're here to do? So it's been nice in kind of like stepping back in that way, still having my husband who is still producing music and things like that to kind of keep me motivated, up until the point where I released Rum and Coke, and then a couple of years got on AMP and met all of you wonderful people.
Nice.
Dope.
All right, don't get mad at me for the hard questions, but I'm the one. I'm if you can't tell by now, I'm that one on here. So they're creating a time capsule, and they're selecting music from every artist to add one song from their catalog that they want either the future generation, or as CB would say, when the aliens come down, what song are we playing for them? And I want to know, what's that song for you and why?
Well, of course, it's Green Light. Because Green Light was the thing that I needed to know that I could do it. Right. And I didn't even know. Right. Like, I don't know if you guys remember Capricorn, but, I had told her it was a completely different song that I thought we should push. And between Capricorn and Tia, I remember like doing one of their shows. Matter of fact, to back up, it was Roland that really discovered me in the middle of the night. Just
That sounds like
party
that
of one. He discovered me in the middle of the night.
Most accurate Roland description of all time.
But I would have to say Green Light, because it was the record that really was affirming, right? That I could do it, right? That this wasn't far-fetched, that there was an opportunity here for me. There was space, because, you always hear people talk about, you could do it. Like, everybody can do it. It's room for you here. And like, even myself, like I'm my day job is like in marketing and advertising, right? And so oftentimes I find myself trying to encourage clients, and I'll be like, just walk down the bread aisle. And when you walk down the bread aisle, like, those perishables, they go in like 5 minutes, but it doesn't stop anybody from coming out with a new type of artisan bread. You know what I mean? And here we are getting so fixated because, maybe we weren't the first to pull the trigger on an idea, and we see it out in these streets. And so, yeah, I would have to say Green Light, because it's significant. It was a defining moment for me. And now, even though it's a love song, I would say, when I do go on Station Head every now and again, I'm trying to get a little bit more consistent. But when I am there and I do end with Green Light, I've adopted that as kind of like this mantra to say, like, you've got the green light to do whatever it is that you want to do, right? Mm-hmm. Like, don't stop in this lifetime. And oftentimes, like, I'm under the guise of telling people that, but what it really is that I'm reminding and reassuring myself that I too can do whatever it is that I set my mind to. So yeah, if the aliens come get us, we beam me up, Scotty, with Green Light.
So kind of piggybacking off E, I want to know, what did that moment feel like for you? Because there was a top 20 on AMP, and Green Light was just up there for a few weeks. And like that actually when I saw the love that Greenlight was getting, that how all the creators were getting behind one of their own and pushing this song, or pushing, just to help get it wherever it could go. That's kind of what inspired us to do the Sick'em Buster with CB's group, to get that within the countdown. But what was that moment like for you, like emotionally? Like, how did that feel? That wave of just support for Greenlight. I always wanted to ask you that. Like, how did that feel, just living in that moment of just being one of us, and you shooting past Nicki Minaj on the top 20, Taylor Swift on the top 20? Like, how was that?
Epic. Right? Because you also make your music in a vacuum. I was in a 1-bedroom apartment when I actually engineered that, right? Like, my husband cleaned it up, right? But I actually engineered that myself. And it was because I was going through a phase where I couldn't decide like which background harmonies, like I was taking long to pull the trigger on certain things, right? And so, now that it's out into the world, I have a vision when I'm singing it, and, I'm hearing it back and how I think people are going to feel about it. But for people to actually feel that way about it, and it just kind of like reminds you, it's not that the music is bad, it just hasn't found its audience. It's a high like no other, right? Like, I cried because I was like, I couldn't believe the first time it went number 1. And the funny thing was that Capricorn was like, if we're over here, oh my God, I can't remember. It's like this, oh man, I don't even want to say the words, but it was some song y'all made number 1 prior to me getting there. Sexy Red, is that the artist? You guys know what I'm talking about?
No. Okay, hold on. Disclaimer. This
Family
group,
show?
this no. This is definitely not a family show. But this group is not the group that made that shit number 1. Trust me. This is.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, some in the comments may have done it, but not this group right here. Not this.
Okay.
Not this group.
I mean, no judgment, but she was like, if we could do this, like, we definitely can make this happen. And I was like, okay, I thought it was going to take time though. You know what I mean? Because again, it had already been like 2 years, like, and industry shelf life is like 2 years, like that's like 50. Right? And so I thought it was going to take time. And she literally turned that around in like a week, and then from there, like, it was being able to go on what I recognize now as like a press run in the amp streets, right? Like, I was on everybody's show, and I was like, I was exhausted, but I loved it, and I was gonna figure it out and still do my show to the best of my ability. But yeah, it felt really good. It was like a love unmatched, because when you sing, it's probably one of the most vulnerable things that you can do. Right. And you don't know how people are going to receive it. It's just your voice and your melodies and, your creativity. So, that's an inner piece of me that people love the same way I love me.
So dope. Where I want to take it is as a writer and as a musician and things like that, there can be certain, defining moments, and you can kind of look back on your journey kind of like in chapters, right? And, certain things happen, and, the way that you write or the type of music that you're putting out, will be reflective of what you're going through at the time. How would you say, if at all, your process or, just the product changed after becoming a mother?
Well, it didn't really happen at that moment when I became a mom. It became the moment that I realized that she was going to repeat everything that she hears, right? But also in that, it's also recognizing all the things that I had to work through as a young person, and wanting her to kind of like speed past some of the things that I didn't feel like I should have had to work through. And so in that, I find myself, I'm not going to say like I'm like super positive, like, I don't know, Hotep. Like, I'm not far gone, like, as it relates to that, right? But I'm a little bit more aware, and if I am going to record something now, I gotta mean it. Like, I really gotta mean it, right? Because being a songwriter, sometimes you just have stories that you have to get out, right? And they're not necessarily reflected of you. They're probably just like situations that other people go through. And you feel those things too, especially if your friends are going through really hard relationships and you're in the mud with them when they're going through it, right? And my way of getting that out of my system is writing it. And maybe I could sing really well about it, but it's not really my story to tell. And so now I'm in this concrete place of like, the songs that I'm going to record are the songs that reflect the stories that I want to tell right now, today. They have to be really honest and really true to who I am, because I know that, these are the songs that my daughter, she will be singing, but this is also this is kind of like my love letter to her, right? As she begins to navigate the world, because I can't shield her from everything, and there will be people that disappoint her. And so, knowing that she's not alone in that, because I just happen to come from parents that are, I think, probably 2 generations older than like where my friends were. And so they didn't really share, right? I think I grew up with boomers. They didn't really share, right? Very quiet. They were silent, and they didn't really expect you to share. And so, but the only way that we kind of get over a lot of those traumas and, bad experiences and navigate things differently is by hearing other people's stories. And more particularly, when you can hear your mother or your father's story, it really helps you identify where you are capable. And so, I would say, like, from the time she started speaking up until, right now, and in my own self-discovery, those are where the shifts and changes have happened in my songwriting and artistry.
It's amazing. Gotta come off mute.
Come off mute.
Damn it, Gina. Good shit. All right, so it's a 2-part question, only because I'm looking at time and I know bro's about to hit us with the wrap it up button. So what is one, let's say, a dream collab, whether that person is living or not here with us, and if there was a song that you would want to cover, what would that song be?
Great question. I would say Sam Cooke would be the one. And it would be the one because I grew up on Sam Cooke. And I've always been fascinated by the way he tells his story. I just love it. So if I could do a record, it would be with him. And then part 2 of your question, I'm sorry.
If you had to like do a like a cover of a song, like what's one, like, I guess karaoke. CB's like great at karaoke, right? So he's killing like John B and shit, right? So if in fact you had to sing a song, or if it's like your go-to, what would be your cover song?
So karaoke is kind of like a regular occurrence here. And I think right now so many of my favorites have disappointed me, right? And a part of that is social media, because I'm getting to know a side of you that I'm not really a fan of. Like, I like your music, but all your inner thoughts, I could probably do without. And so because of that, I've also found myself to not really listen to some of the records. In many cases, I can separate the art from the artist, but I don't listen to the records the same way because also I'm in a different life stage. But I have heavily, for probably like the last year and a half, been back in my Michael Jackson bag. And so what's the record? I don't know. I have like 4 that I sing all the time, y'all. Oh man, I really like Do You Remember the Time?
Okay.
And so if I could not just sing it, but also like redo a video, because that video was everything. That would be it. Like I would only want to record it if I could like do a video.
Real quick, the boo from Dave J is John B comment. The boo from Dave J is the John B. That's a whole other story. So he's not booing anything about Mika. All right.
That's why he made that comment that he made about me last week.
So before we ask you about your big three, right? I do have one last question. And it's just because I want to know, like you had momentum with AMP, and AMP kind of killed a lot of people's momentum, and some of us ended up on station head to keep the community together and to continue building one way or another till we figured out what the next step was. A few of us on blast or do both or whatever. But you have momentum. Like you're number one for a few weeks now with that song and such a good album. And then like, boom, like AMP went away. We didn't hear, didn't see you for a while. Then like, I just so happened to, I rarely do TikTok, and now I'm trying to build a presence on TikTok, and I see you there, and I was doing the Gone in 60 Seconds, and I was like, wait a minute, is this her? And then, so momentum, how has it been trying to rebuild that momentum, or do you even want to build momentum? Like what's next?
Consistency is next. I think after AMP, life just really just started swinging. Like it was almost like too good to be true while I was in it. But then like the day job, I got let go, anybody who works in advertising knows that sometimes when you lose a client, you lose a whole department. And so that was the situation. And so like the money started looking funny, and I'm still a mom, and my daughter was still in daycare at the time. So I still had like, $1,500 I had to figure out monthly, like it was really tough. And in the midst of all of that, I didn't have family close by because like so many people in COVID, me and my family, made a shift. We came down to Louisville, Kentucky. So there were just so many changes happening at once. And so where I found community and where I found my peace and a new sense of self, that just went away. And there would be many times like I had joined Station Head. I was there in the beginning. And but then there was days like I would come on and I couldn't even talk. Right. Like I was going through it. Because I didn't know, like I just could not understand, like, and especially when you think that in life you have dealt with the things like, all right, it's only up from here. When you feel like you've had that moment and then life comes and gives you an uppercut and it's just like, I'm back here or I'm even lower now. It was really tough for me. It was really tough for me. And so I had to sit and I had to wait and I had to give myself the time, and it was frustrating because, it's like, I know that I'm capable. I just did it. I was just showing up, like we were out here, but it was very hard. A lot of sleepless nights, and we're in a capitalistic society. And so it's not until I was able to get another gig, and start to reframe some things, but also I ain't gonna hold y'all, like it brought me closer to God, right? I had to really lean in, and I'm still figuring out how to really lean into my faith in a way where, I just show up and don't question, and then, just do what needs to be done. But it was really, really hard. But it was some things that I had to work out as an individual, right? Yep. There was some reckonings that needed to happen internally. So as hard as it was, I am grateful for that time because, there's a emergence of a new maturity that I didn't have before. And I don't think I would have had everything stayed the same. Right. So I went through a period of wilderness, right? Like I got a taste of how good it could get. And then it was gone. And like, even the platform shutting down still doesn't make sense to me. Right? Like it just does not, nothing about that makes sense. Like, why would y'all do that? It was a good app.
Yeah, it was. They didn't know what they had. I believe that's what the issue. They didn't know what they had. I mean, there's some insider sources that have said some things, but like I always thought it would come back one way or another.
Mhm.
But it is what it is. It's like on the bigger and better things to whatever.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So look, we're not done with you yet, but we're transitioning because this is the question. This is the homework that we give everybody now. We ask everybody to name their top 3 movies and top 3 albums of all time. Now, 5 is easy, 3 is tough. So let's start with the movies. Top 3 movies. What'd you come up with?
Sister Act 2.
I was just talking about that today.
I am in love with Cinderella, Roger and Hammerstein, Brandy and Whitney, right?
Okay.
And because I miss my father so much, he's no longer with us, but always in my heart. I would say Lean on Me, right? I didn't have parents who were talkers, and so I think him sitting me down and making me watch Lean on Me was his way of saying a lot of things. So those are my 3.
Okay, let's do the albums.
Bro, hold on. Was your dad from Patterson? Like, Lean on Me is like a very specific like movie to show kids, right? Like, it
is.
You smoke crack, don't you? It's like a crazy line, but it's like.
I mean, it's that, and then the other young lady got pregnant, and
Facts.
you got to really understand race relations in that movie. I think there's so many elements to that, and I think him as a Black man, right? Like, there was so much that I did not understand about what the experience was for Black men in this country, right? And so I think he was just he found a quality movie, and he was just trying to impart some wisdom, but he didn't necessarily have all the words to do that.
Okay.
Take that down.
All right, what about your albums?
All right, for my albums, I have Joe More and More.
Oh, you went on mute.
Muted myself. Joe More and More. And this one is really hard, right? Because again, a lot of people have just they've been very disappointing. Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation, and you see it like right over here in the back, my album. And I didn't have a third.
Wow.
If I have to choose, I would say Whitney Houston, I'm Your Baby Tonight.
Okay.
But
even if that's a stretch, I mean, Rum and Coke, that could be your.
Oh, true.
I mean,
for sure, absolutely.
Great answers. All right, so we're probably gonna go to about another 15 minutes or so. So you can stick around to close out the show with us.
Absolutely.
All right, great. So now you've gotten to know E. Rich a little bit, and this is the moment where E. Rich becomes disappointing. Straight into it.
Sure. That's a good one. What are you talking about?
Oh, hell no, man.
You're kidding.
You can eat the top of them.
You are not. You did not just put an entire strawberry in your mouth without getting rid of the top.
No, the top is fine. It's edible. Okay, imagine if you just go normally, it's this much down.
No, I can get pretty close to. I'll show you where I get to.
Yeah. That's wasteful. That's how white people eat chicken wings. You leave all that meat on there.
But then I clear the edges.
Oh, God, that sounds like back in college.
Why
That's
are
a
you
normal
eating the
thing.
leaf?
That's a normal thing.
Okay, how
Pop
about
it
you?
on.
How about you? You need to stop doing that. That is making my skin crawl.
Try it.
Did you wash these?
Now that might be a problem. I did not.
My God.
No, try another one. Here, try it my way.
I'm not eating
Try
it. Your way.
What's wrong with that?
Why am I eating ground?
In what point of life did they ever teach you to not eat the top of it?
These are gross. Where'd you get these from? These are so
The gas station. You want a strawberry?
Sure.
Bro. Listen.
I'm sorry.
No, this is exactly that's why, right? I mean, those first of all, those two are comical. That's just a good combination of Ebby and Ivory. At
How are
its
you
best.
gonna allow yourself to play that clip knowing that I'm on this show? The number of things that were said in that,
You're absolutely
that
right.
segment.
Again, bro, you and I need to do a straight, you know what type of YouTube on that show. But anyway, yeah, I have a. Is it just Is I have a problem that with people who eat the strawberries, like the whole strawberry. Like I get it,
You know,
and I
people like
understand. Bro, are you serious? These kids nowadays, bro, like they're eating the whole strawberry. They're like, it's just the leaf. No, like I agree with dude. Like that's straight dirt, bro. Like they're not cleaning that off, but of course it is because these kids only got to eat organic because they're allergic to everything. But yeah, bro, like I have a problem with that. Again, only because I feel like we were raised to make sure that you didn't eat, and especially like it was like the little white part, right? Because that was like the sour part, because it's like there was the part on the strawberry that just didn't get all red, and you'd be like, I'm cool on that, like, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna eat all the way up until the white part. Pause. So it is that thing, right? In that situation, but I truly have a problem with. I've seen somebody eat a whole strawberry like that and just be like, bro, like. It's just weird. It's not serial killer tendencies, but it's borderline that. It's borderline is got me a little weird. So, I would have done the poll. I would have told you to do that in the chat. Who eats a whole strawberry? But they can still do it. In the chat, do you eat the whole strawberry, or do you leave like that little leafy part and just throw that down the garbage disposal? I eat the whole kiwi sometimes. The fur parts, okay, Ubi gotta go. She gotta go.
I don't think after you peel the fur part off, because
nah, bro. She said she eat the whole kiwi. She gotta go. Mika, hold on. I need you to chime in. Please don't tell me you over there eating the whole strawberry. Don't tell me you do.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Right. Pomegranates, though, I do eat the whole seed sometimes, right? But yeah, I only recently actually learned that you're not supposed to. But they're so small.
What is happening? See, this is what I'm talking about. So Sammy just you know what? I feel froggy today, so I'm gonna eat the whole strawberry. Like that's weird, bro.
Like the top of the strawberry, sometimes you don't.
All right, that's
maybe the experience we don't know about.
Nah, I've never heard that. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, that is not gonna come out of nowhere. Come out nutrient. Nah.
I mean, we learn something new every day on the internet, so
They also told us, like I've heard folks say water is bad for you. Now, like there's always something new, like you said. Now they may be. Oh, nah, can't do it. Can't do
the fuzz is fiber. Wow.
Oh boy.
Because we're not mature enough on this show. Just if you can't tell by now, we're not. Especially me and CB. We're the two that can't sit next to each other because everything is going to be funny and they're probably going to kick us out. So,
oh man,
that's all right.
What if you're eating the top?
He's doing this on purpose.
You're eating the top of the strawberry, and
I feel the rain. 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 It's raining all over me. I'm moist. I'm moist. Call and response, I said I'm moist. I'm moist. Good God, I'm moist. I'm moist. Yes, I am. Rain all over me. I'm saturated. I'm saturated. I'm saturated. I'm saturated. I'm saturated. I'm saturated. Yes, I am. I'm saturated. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm damp. I'm damp. I'm damp. I'm damp. Lord, I'm damp. I'm damp. Oh Lord, damp. I'm damp. I'm even wet. Wet. Wet all over for you, Lord. Wet. Lord.
his face the whole time. Just watching.
It's a damn shame.
What is she supposed to do? You played the whole damn video.
I'm sure you never realized she had never seen it. Just have you seen that before, Mika?
I never saw it before, and I didn't know there was so many ways to describe. You know,
water,
moist, saturated. It's crazy.
Well, I've seen her responses. That's why I kept it on the whole time. Boy said he spat out his cookie. That's okay. Are you done? My bad, bro. Are you done?
Yeah, we good, bro. We done turned it upside down with my segment.
All right, let's go. All right, CB, what we got for that copper chop this week?
All right. So there was some news recently that a grail of mine that I never got to get back in the day, back in 2027. And it is the Chartreuse Air Jordan 14s, which came out in 2005. The way the bank account was set up in 2005 was that CB was not flooded with Jordans. So I'm excited for these to come back, but we don't have like a release date. We don't have official images. We just have the news that they're going to bring these back and it's going to be in 2027. So just guessing, I'm going to assume with the way that 14 prices go these days, it'll probably be like in the 200 range, something like that. But you guys better believe, for me, also being just a fan of the 14s in general, these are a definite cop, and I'm excited that these are coming back. But let me know how y'all are feeling. If you guys had the opportunity, cop these for retail. You copping or chop?
Cop.
Yeah, I'll probably go ahead and cop these. I mean, I don't think I would. General release, I don't know if maybe, but I also think these might sit though. I think these are kind of our things. Reason why I say that just because that colorway, but also that neon green for me and bro is like a thing. But yeah, Mika, what you got?
It's the green for me, so copping.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's show some sneakers or whatever you brought, and let's get up out of here. I'll go ahead and I'll lead off. So it's summertime, and we're talking about shoes that as a kid that we always wanted. And y'all have seen these before. There's nothing new here, but these came back around, and I just want to talk about the comfortability of a good Huarache. So we're going to show these right here. Time to pull these back out for the summer.
There we go.
Yeah. So I don't know if this was always a grail, but it was definitely always a shoe that I wanted. So got these last year. Shout out to Huarache.
Only because I have my Raiders jersey on, my Oakland Raiders jersey. For those on the damn comment section, I got something to say. Kind of went old school with them, with a classic 187 Silver Bullets. You know what it is. It's a classic shoe. I missed out on a black pair, and damn if StockX is asking for way too much money for that resale. So, but in the sense of like the Air Max, because we know I did well on Air Max Day, I figured I'd rock the 97s.
Boom.
All right.
All right. So disclaimer here: I'm not a sneakerhead, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm also in New York and Louisville, and I'm fighting to hold on to my identity.
She's about to bring out a Tim. I know it.
I am.
I knew it. I knew it. The accent came just a little too strong. I was like, yo, it's about to be a Tim, bro. I know it.
Definitely.
Incredible.
There you go. Okay. All right, CB, close this out.
I don't think we've ever done this before. I'm gonna try to make sure that we can see this shit, but I got luggage.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, you got the Nike joint. Okay.
Yep. This green screen messed with me. But
Bro, it looks like you throwing around studio equipment right now.
But yeah, your boy went out and copped the Nike luggage, the carry-on joint, and I got to use it for the first time this past weekend when the fam went to Great Wolf Lodge, and yeah, I felt fly as shit lugging my my carry-on through the resort. So yeah.
Dope. All right, as we begin to get up out of here, let's just do this one. All right, want to thank our guests, the artist Mika Brown. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for being
So
here.
happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Where can we find you? Because some folks may have been looking for you. Where can we find you at?
You're gonna find me at the artist Mika, primarily on TikTok. You know, I still float into Instagram every now and again, but I'm over there hanging with the what are they, the Gen Zers on TikTok, having a good old time. You know,
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
that's it. Music will be coming at some point. You know, I just started like getting into like a writing schedule. So, you know, it's a slow roll, but to actually keep up with where I'm at with things, TikTok is where you'll find me. And hi to everybody in the chat. I saw all the love and all the comments. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge all. Thank you so much for the love.
Yeah. So we always tell our guests we appreciate your time because you could be doing anything else on a Thursday night, but you're here with us. So appreciate you for that. So make sure everybody goes to WRSCpodcast.com. Well, first of all, like and subscribe, do all that good stuff. WRSCpodcast.com for the merch, for all the latest videos are there. Collaboration playlist we got coming back up for next week. We didn't have one this week, but collaboration playlist return next week. Also next week, Soul Tales. We have 5 Thursdays this month, which is amazing. So the fellas so once a month we do Soul Tales. The last Thursday of the month is an all sneaker podcast, Mika, where us and the fellas get together. It's like 6 of us, and we just talk sneakers. Shout out to Cardo, who's one of them. Just talk sneakers. So, and then the other Thursdays, first Thursday of the month is Baddie Behavior with Sammy Slated. Sammy's on. We have Sammy. Second Thursday, we got Takeover Trina. And then third Thursdays is The Culture with Jen Glenn. So we try to have a lady presence here to keep us on.
Yeah. No, I mean, and you got a strong lineup. Yeah. You know, that's strong. So yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back at some point on the show, but I'll be tuning in. This is a vibe over here.
Appreciate you. Also, people who haven't listened to the Cloud of Chris album yet, produced by me, check it out. Cloud of Chris for the soul, me, Kaleo. It's amazing you can make music and never even been in the same studio together. So go check that out. What else we got? I think that's about it. Stay around for a second while we wrap up behind the studio, and let's do.
Follow us on YouTube at WRSC Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe. Coming, ain't